Less than 10 seconds later, the entire mall went dark and all of the screens went black. What's wrong? Everybody wondered. This couldn't be a coincidence, they thought. Had Kevin really done this with just one phone call? Doug and Mason were both stunned when they saw this. They had no idea what was going on. What puzzled them even more was, who did Kevin call? "You think you're the only one with connections in this town?" Doug said as he called the KWTD Corporation. Unfortunately for him, nobody answered his call. Then someone suddenly shouted, "Where did all these roses come from?" Everyone looked up and saw thousands and thousands of rose petals falling from the sky like raindrops. "Look up there!" another person yelled. Everyone was astonished to see an enormous blimp floating above the outdoor mall. There were people tossing roses out of it onto the crowds below. Suddenly, everyone heard loud whistling sounds coming from the east over Lake Michigan. It was a daytime fireworks display. Then the enormous dot matrix sign on the blimp spelled out, "Lily and Kevin forever." Next, two women were escorted through the crowd with microphones in their hands. It was Brittany Davis and Charity Boyer. The whole place went wild. What were they doing here? And who are Lily and Kevin? Everyone's eyes were fixed on Kevin and Lily as a woman slipped out of the crowd and handed Kevin a small pink gift box. Kevin took Lily by the hand and said, "You've been through a lot over the past few years. You've had to put up with everyone talking me, and you've put up with all the ridicule. Let's put all that behind us now and think about our future." Then he got down on one knee and held out a ring with a diamond as big as a walnut and said, "I love you, Lily. Will you marry me? Again?" Lily's eyes filled with tears and she covered her mouth to keep from screaming. She was so full of joy. "Say yes!" someone shouted from the crowd. Nobody knew who it was, but everybody joined in, repeating over and over, "Say yes!" When Kevin put the ring on Lily's trembling finger, she was so excited that she hugged him as tightly as she could, not wanting to ever let go. "Do you like my surprise?" Kevin asked. His only regret was that the fireworks would have worked a lot better at night. "I like it. I really like it," Lily replied excitedly. Suddenly, a huge commotion interrupted this touching scene and everyone started to panic. "Everybody, run!" came a scream by the entrance to the mall. Kevin looked over and saw a huge group of men dressed in white holding out large knives as they ran through the crowd. There was a large middle-aged man leading them and he looked like he was ready to kill someone. It was Craig Hill, Nolan Hill's father. After Kevin beat up Nolan, he spent almost a week in the hospital and it looked like he might not pull through. He was still bedridden and his prognosis wasn't great. When he heard about this, Craig was furious. He got his people to find out as much as they could about Kevin and then they all rushed from their home in Detroit to Chicago to get their revenge. "Lily, you and Rachel should get out of here right now," Kevin warned them as he reached into his jacket and pulled out his night dagger. Then he sprinted toward the group of men. Kevin was afraid that they would hurt the innocent people in the crowd. He had to stop these men before things got out of hand. "Kevin," Lily anxiously called out to her husband. "Lily, let's go. If Kevin is running at them, he must know what he's doing. We'll only slow him down if we stay here," Rachel pleaded with her friend. She kept a cool head and struggled to pull Lily toward the exit. "Let's get out of here, then call the police. That's the only way we can save Kevin," Rachel insisted. "So, you're the head of the Hill family?" Kevin asked as he stood in front of them holding the night dagger in his hand. He was sizing up his opponent, who looked a heck of a lot like Nolan Hill, only older. "And you're Kevin?" Craig Hill roared angrily. "It looks like you're here to avenge Nolan?" Kevin inquired. He was doing his best to buy as much time as possible so that more people could get to safety. "You've ruined my son's life. Now I'm going to take your life to even up the score," Craig growled as he waved his knife at Kevin and shouted to the men behind him. As soon as the words left his mouth, they all ran towards Kevin. Kevin was absolutely enraged by this, and he gathered his energy together to face them alone. He was already far more powerful than any of the Hill family's men. The only thing that made the fight equal was that there were so many of them. Kevin grabbed Craig by the wrist and twisted it to the side. The move made his attacker's knife fly out of his hand. Then Kevin gave him a sharp kick to the ribs. As Kevin turned around, he felt at least 4 men approaching him from the rear, slashing with their knives. He managed to avoid all of them, but every time he dealt with one attacker, 2 more seemed to appear. This wasn't going to be an easy victory.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.